Crazy out my mind, this situation I'm in, and it gets harder just to breathe. Feel like the walls are closing in, but
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here officially starting our Just Be Marathon. I'm pretty pumped for it because they are competing alongside ATBO to form the Crew 1 for their time on Road to Kingdom Season 2, and I cannot wait to dive into both during this time. And so we have some pre-debut material to look at, some dance covers, which I am always here for. We're going to go ahead and check them all out. First up is Jane by Alexander Lewis, but it's a Just Jerk choreo. Ooh, the lighting change was cool. Ooh. That was nice. Now, I'm very familiar with Just Jerk, so I was trying to figure out who that could have possibly been, but because they didn't give a specific person, we're not going to read too much into it. Cool. So I think what we'll do is we're actually going to look at all 4 of them first, and then we're going to go back and analyze them all. Here we go. Next one. Gur, choreo by Jodo. So, whoever this is, he choreographed it himself. Dude, his outfit looks so comfortable. Yeah. Yes. What are we riding? Over your tattoos. Yeah. Was fun. I love it when we get to showcase some self choreo straight out the gate too. All right, next, 90s Love by NCTU. Yo, this track, okay. 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 And I believe we have one more. Boom. Delaney? I haven't seen Delaney's name on nobody's stuff like this. Okay, come on.
every time you cross my mind, you get right under my skin. Am I crazy out my mind? This situation I'm in, and it gets harder
That's fun.
to breathe. Feel like the walls are closing in, but all I need is some closure. Yeah, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I get anxiety when you're not here with me. I get anxiety. I can't eat, I can't sleep.
Ooh. Okay, okay then. All right. So we've only seen 4 out of the 6. I think I'm maybe safe to say the other 2 did more like vocal covers, which I think is totally fine if that's the case, or if they didn't decide to do one. That's also fine. But we're just gonna go through each one and kind of have some thoughts about them and talk through them. Now, all of them have some degree of not mutedness, but like withholding. I would say the last one had the most texture exploration, and what I mean by that is how the movements settled in the body and how we were able to match our music, the timbre of it, the sound context that we hear, how we were able to match it and create a sense of depth in our choices is kind of what I mean. And I would say the last one really felt that way. The first 3 did feel more, it kind of felt like it's like a tease. It really feels more like teasers, not I'm gonna freaking pop off and it only gets worse, you know, like pop off in a great way, which is fine. It definitely makes me curious about seeing Just Be as a full group and what their concept out the gate is going to be, because I'm assuming that they picked these themselves, just like I know whenever I looked at XG, I believe they picked those choreos themselves, which I thought was really fun. So I like that we get to do something like that here from the top. So the name of this dancer is Im Min. Maybe I should start writing these down. So Im Min. I guess I'm gonna be looking for him. Jimin. Sweet. All right. What we got going for us, Just Jerk, very familiar with their movement quality. I mean, I've taken class there. I've taken class from about 9 different Just Jerk members. Even before I started really diving into online classes, like I think in 2020s when I started taking class from them. And then it was cool, like this past year, to actually go in Korea and take from them there. But I mean, all that to say, they're very heavy on crisp, clean moves, but they have a really great way of showcasing some textures through the sense of polyrhythms and syncopation, which is nice. I mean, that's definitely what you want to have. So he has great stage presence so far, for sure. He hits it back in this part, the D. Nice choice. So he's presenting the finger. Now we're doing shoulder, elbow, wrist on this for the, oh no wrist, my bad. Shoulder, elbow, and then we add an extra accent, a pop, and then we go and we present up nice and full, and then we create some tension. And then right here with the point, we go doom, 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 hitting through, doom, doom, doom. I like how he's clasping the hands on that. Looks very nice. Little sweep around with some tension of the chest on that as well. So all syncopated, matching that particular sound quite well. Very clean and clear. That's what you want for this choreo. And he hits it well, boom, and it goes bass, bass. He presents, good, you know. He's saying, hey, I have a face, like me. Like, I get it, it's cool. And there's this little kickball change, on the percussion. Resets it, So I guess the question is, did he match Just Jerk's aesthetic? Because most of these are covers. I think one of them is his own choreo, so it's just he's matching himself. So I would say yes, he does a pretty good job of it. Matches the music quite well. Definitely makes me intrigued on, are we going to have some of these textures and techniques in the choreo as a group? We'll find out. And is this his specialty? Does he like this? I like this part where he hits it and then he goes nice little kickball change. I think is what ends up happening. It's just a little shimmy. Yeah, so he just ends up, not a vibration, he just hits it and accents it from, I believe, his right shoulder, and it will just mirror it. So it goes, It's reset out, which is nice. He hits it, boom, great. I'm glad he has his hair down because fringe can really be a huge teller on how much energy is being exuded in movements that a lot of times when you're watching from a camera, it's hard to tell. So that's why I like being able to see hair down for that reason, because you're able to catch some really cool details. So he brings it through, around, uses the shoulders again to promote a direction, that click, click with the shoulder, right? And then he sets it out. And so there's this little pulse, boom, boom, and then he takes it, he hits it, and they'll sweep to the other side, but notice that the arm and the leg were parallel, or they were attached together in some way by the rotation. When one moved to a certain range, the other one matched it to the same degree, which is nice. And that part, I gave me the impression we were going for a pas de bourrée, but I don't quite know if that's what we were really going for. Your accent, boom, boom, nice on the bases, the hit, and then we end up finishing it out. So that's what I was expecting the first time, which is why I said shoulder, elbow, wrist. That is an isolated exit wave. So it goes shoulder, elbow, wrist. I like it. It was clear. I can see it. Yes, we're here for it. Then I like the angst of the throw to represent. He takes it up to reset center, hits it in, boom, and we shove the energy over, click, click, to reset center. A lot of this second position bending situation to happen. It's a vibe. You can go more full this way. I get it. It's fine. Is it my favorite choreo I've seen from Just Jerk? No. I mean, that's fine. I'm seeing a lot of choreo, and so do I think that they got their intention across? Absolutely. It makes me look forward to seeing what we're doing, because Just Jerk is a dance crew and he is an idol. Now, I do not see them as one better than the other. I'm seeing it as two different skill sets that we're placating to. An idol has more skills that they have to do in different niches, where they have to have a performance side on staging. I mean, other crews do too, but they do there, but they also have to sing and dance. So it's singers who dance, right? Not dancers who sing, is what a lot of people depict idols as, which I totally understand. Whenever I choreograph for show choir, it is a choir that sings, not dancers who sing, right? No, singers who dance, not dancers who sing. And that's kind of my point. So that's kind of, I understand that viewpoint for sure. So whenever you have idols who have a heavy dance presence, when you think about it, with crew choreo, it is exhausting to do, which is why I'm always so shocked when I see a lot of these newer groups doing these heavily complex crew elite level full out choreos, but also sing at the same time. My God, I wish I could even be a half as good as that. Now, some groups can't hold it down on the MR remove, but some can, so it is possible. But my point is this: I like seeing this, and I'm seeing it that the choreo is not like it's you know, it's from Just Jerk. And so from the crew side, he's holding it down pretty well. He doesn't look like somebody who's just trying his best. Like, he looks like he's doing the choreo mighty fine, and that's what you want. You get the product that you want. So he's showing, hey, I know how to dance, get ready. Like, it's very complimentary, and it's a proper build up, which I really like. And all of them showcase that, especially Mr. Choreographer. I'm excited to talk about his stuff. I like how he brings it over, boom, 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 boom. Very readable in his choices, but exactly what you want. He comes up, does feel like we went vibration, or we did something in the reverb to tailor it down, and then ISO, click, click, click. Very familiar with that. And brings it over, boom, boom. I like the pull of the torso on that as well. He rotates that hand, and he goes, ching, it dissolves. And he hits it, jing, little chime action. He walks to the back. He looks at the wall. And he holds it. Blur effect. We're done. Great start. Thank you, Im Jimin, for that. The next guy, his name is Jun Do Yum. Yum, right? Yeah, so that's cool. Jun, I'm assuming there's the J-E-O-N, D-O, like do. And then Yun. Yum, cool. Awesome. All right. He did his own choreo. I love it. His fit is probably one of my favorite fits too. I love it. I wish I could wear that in real life. Maybe I can. By 12. So it goes, hold up. And also 12, they ain't got no vowels in that name. It's actually kind of cool. Whenever the consonants, you still get to say what it is. Anyway, irrelevant. Now, my big note for Mr. Doyum is it does feel like most of his choreo feels like an intro or a setup into choreo. It doesn't quite feel like a huge, like a huge impactful set, but it goes back to my previous point. It feels like a tease or a teaser of what's to come, which is that the intention? I would assume yes until told otherwise, and I think there's beauty in that. Just like there's beauty in really complex things, there's beauty in really simple things. This isn't simple, but I would say the structure of it doesn't give the impression of we're showcasing this high elite level, watch me do 1,500 things in 15 seconds. It's a, let me show you my essence, my vibe, my flow through my own work. And I love being able to respect artists like that. I like the reset here, boom, and I like the subtlety of the wrists on that. That was really nice. He goes click, 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 very readable. I could hear the bass very, very well in his choices, and it felt full. So that is fantastic on that regard. There, look at the wave, and look, Mr. Follow Through. I love it when I get to see a hand wave with full follow through. We love it. Yes, and then from there, he hits it, and then he swings his arm over, boom, to allow the energy to travel from the right knee to the left, and he's letting his head create a better gaze of where he wants us to look. We love that. Da-doom. I love that little shifting on the bass. Da-doom, doom, doom, and we present with our hands. Look at the fringing. I'm telling you, it shows you how much energy is going into stuff. And he shows his arms out to the side, and then he rotates it around more. And I like how he pushes that shoulder out of the way to maintain the flow with the snap to come out. Ooh. And he goes da-doom, doom, doom. So I think he's definitely a fan when there's a bass like that, where it's not like super heavy, but it's definitely defined. He's wanting to hit it in this type of staccato way. Staccato means very sharp, so he's wanting to hit that with either through a snap. I mean, of course, he hits a snap, but through ISOs, which I really like. But I'm already kind of figuring out, at least with this song, what kind of fingerprints he has. Every choreographer has it. It makes it really fun when I look at demo crews like Team Same or BIPS or Free Mind or MOTF and being like, that is an MOTF pocket. Like, it's so fun to talk about it like that, so it makes me look forward. I hope we see more choreo from him. Just for this year, I want to learn about his movement quality and his artistic growth, because that is more of my neck of the woods. I love seeing people find themselves as artists. It's one of the most beautiful things, and marathons are a perfect way to uncover it. So God, I hope there's more choreo from him. But from here, it's nice like to see his ISOs, and that's his choice on basses. It's really nice. So from there, on that crispness of the sound, he hits an accent sit with the head, and he goes fold, fold with the wrist. He says, here we go, click, click. With a switch up, he takes the arms and he pulls it through. Very nice. And he goes, baby, da-da. I'm shocked he's not poking himself in the eye with the hair, though. That is a note. It's interesting. Like, I wish I could have my fringe like that, but your girl cuts them, man. We can't. Once they're hitting right here, it's I'm gonna poke my eye out. I'm telling you, my hair is dangerous to my eyeballs. So I am shocked when these boy groups can sit here and look like an emo dude. We love it. It's cool. The pull is nice. I like this where you get to see both arms. You see the twinkling. Watch where his head's going. His rotation is nice. And notice because it dropped to the other side and we saw the reset, we're naturally catering our eyes to the right side. Then he switches it over and he ends up being guided to that side as well, which feels natural to us as viewers. We love it. Then the tension here, boom, that goes out in. Ding, 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 boom. And he has a little body roll. Look at how hard he's working. I call this productivity. Look at this boy giving us his all. We love it. And he hits it through. Da, da, da. Yeah, up so nice. And I like the tension, the rebound. Resets. Come on. Da da da. And then this right here, notice his posture right here. He's using his hips to help with presenting the hands, and he's using the shoulders to kind of lean away from the hip choice. So I like that as well. Looking great. And he goes double tap, and then we shampoo through. Let's go. He goes up. Come on. And then we rotate it around. Definitely a fan of that. He goes ding ding and throw. Yes. And it goes do 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 do. So it's definitely isolated on the wave. Do 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 do. Traveling it up. Come on. And then shoulder roll, shoulder roll. And then we go, nice little pulse of the hips, definitely here for that. And then we pull it up, the punch, 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 and then he hits a wall. So he punches the wall using the bass. So he's either going to ISO it or use an impact, which makes total sense to me. I would opt for a kick, a punch, or an ISO myself. So that's why I'm able to pick up on it more, because that's similar to my wheelhouse of interpretation for that sound. Now, boom. Hitting the wall that he's already established a punch from, he's hitting it, and then he's having a nice residual effect on it, and he adds some extra breath on the tail end. Because he's already established his hands nice and flat, when he bleeds it up, it's very readable. We love it. And he has his arm come up, little bleed over. Now, how much of this is his own, like, in the moment feeling? Some of it could very well be when he does some trace choices. It could feel very in the moment. I love it when people do that, especially if it's you doing your own choreo. what are people going to say? You're wrong? Like, come on. Like, if you're going to feel yourself like that, then feel yourself. I have soloists that I set choreo on, and there are times where I allow them, like, I give them the bones of it, and I tell them my personal intention, and we try to marry their movement quality to my intention together. And because I'm their teacher, they adopt naturally a lot of fingerprints of my movement quality onto their vocabulary because I teach them. So that's just a natural thing that happens. That's the power of influence. And so I appreciate doing long-term investment with students because you get to experience beautiful collaborations instead of going into random people and setting stuff. So all that to say, his movement quality on himself is going to feel naturally more intimate because he knows himself more than others, right? Another equivalence would be if he's working with a teacher for a long time and there's this natural overlap and there's that trust built too. So that's super fun. I love it. He brings it up, he hits it, boom, he goes, he resets a nice little pony. But you know, all of it does feel like, you know, we're intro and we're about to pop off, but we don't quite pop off. It's nice. Now I'm not saying he didn't pop off. Like, I'm saying a lot of his movement quality was really nice to see. I'm saying the intensity of seeing like this is me, you know, in a full out context. It didn't feel full out, it felt conversational. And there is a lot of fun in that as well. We love it. Next one up. This is a cover in 90s Love NCTU. Now this one did feel, out of all of them, the most muted. And part of that is, it doesn't matter if I go to NCTU's track and see them do this, what I'm gonna look at is this. Whatever moves you choose to do, it sounds like an old school track, 90s Love. There's gonna be some 90s old school party moves from the social scene up in here. I've already seen them. How you do them to this track is what I'm going to look at, because just like I critique and I give feedback to many groups and talk about how they do the choreo, their own choreo onto the tracks, I'm going to hold him to that same standard. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest note, is he felt pretty muted for the type of old school rock and bounce that is required in the type of groove that this was going for. Hitting it through a click, click, da-da-da, feels very placed. So I'm looking forward to, what's his name? Kim Sang-woo, to his growth as a human. Very excited for it. He takes it, he swings, boom, very militant vibe to start. Nothing crazy there. Boom, boom, boom. He goes, takes it, ball change. Nice little screech on that. And he goes, he brings it around. I like it. Good start with a snap. We're here for it. So far, so good. It's great. And I'm not saying he did a poor job. Do not take my words as that. I'm saying, I'm just being, I'm being honest. I'm saying when you think about the type of track and you think about the type of movements that are being done, there is a certain standard in which it is to be done as a dancer. Because I'm treating them as dancers here. Even though I know they're idols, there's not a difference here. If you're showing me a dance performance, these are the types of things we're going to talk about, right? This right here, he says, all right, come on. The clap, ba, ba. Really nice. I like it. So clear to catch on the track. Now this move right here. This move right here. I've seen this with a little chug. Oh my gosh. This, I've heard it. Oh, what have I heard this called? So the pickup of the feet. You've seen this as like a little cabbage patch. I've heard it called a Reebok. I've heard it called so many different things. I've heard if you take this and you chug it, I've heard it called a fila. I mean, it's just depends on who you ask and when you asked them is a big thing. So in this context here, you've also seen with like the pickup of the foot with the knees that go out and in. 1, 2, 3. It's a combination. It's a hybrid. So even if this is NCTU's choreo, I would say the same thing. So the feet themselves, the lower half of the body, normally you see it would go up, up, up like an Alf, but it's down. So when it's down, it reminds me of a prep or oh my gosh, hold on. All right, so for this, we needed to go back just to make sure that I pick up on that pretty decently. So this little leg right here, I've seen a lot done with preps or prep variation, which is this kind of stuff, and he's hitting it over like this. I've seen this move done with like a little hop to it, and that I've heard called a Reebok, but that's been redacted, and the Reebok is more similar to what people used to call the Cabbage Patch, So that's all that to say. It's so hybrid. I'm still learning, and hopefully one day I will have significantly more confidence in being able to go, this is what it's called, this is what it used to be called, this is what I used to call it, XYZ. But that's where my scope stops today. I am always growing and learning as a student, but his pulls on this are fine. So like the fullness in the lower body is great, and then what he does is he takes it and he hops to it, which is really nice. So he hops and hops, which is what makes me feel we're going like a little prep variation a little bit, which I like. And a little hop out of it and little shimmy. Okay, come on. Then he takes it right here. This right here, I've seen that with the crisscrosses, where you crisscross feet, or I've also seen it whenever you're about to prep for a lock-in, something along those lines. But that's just more of a prep for something. Not prep the move, but prep like preparation is what I mean out of that. So we go and we turn out of it. There's a little jack on that, reset, which is nice. He hits it up. Now, my big thing here is it does feel like we are doing like some subtle bounces. I think that's my big note is I wish, just a personal note, like preference, I wish that he rocked and bounced more in these choices. And it's not because, like we can all say, Jess, that's how NCTU does it. I would say the same thing to them if that was indeed the case, unless there's a very specific part of the track where it calls for a tone shift. Because of my whole point that I made, people who are doing their own choreo are not... Like, it's the same thing. It's like I can go watch HHI and I can look at a crew doing their own choreo and I can still give the same notes on the musicality is off for X, Y, and Z because they're being adjudicated on that, right? So talking about this here in the K-pop sense, you can still have choreo that doesn't match your concept too. So it's all that to say, if this is indeed NCTU choreo and he's doing it exactly like them, these notes to him are the same notes that I would give them if I was in a marathon with them too. So I want you to keep that in mind. I'm an equal feedback giver on things. So that right there with a little march step and a little cross step on the back, I like the head on that is nice. But notice that when he just taps, he kind of just taps instead of really allowing something else in the body to contribute to the tap. Because we're so far away, we want to see the full body engaged on it because of the type of track it is. And hang it through. And right here, the little body roll with the throw. That's fun. That's fun. And he doubles that up. I like the tension on that. So that was a cool choice. And then we have to switch it up. Cool conversational moment. We're here for it. This right here, da 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 da. Nice. I mean, it's nice. I mean, notice, but I went significantly bigger than he did. His feels very like internalized. I think is my biggest thing I'm catching on this. It's internal. But with hip hop, it's a social scene. It's not. I mean, you can internalize for the sake of conversation, but for the type of track, like it's a party. It's like, come on, Mima, let's go have fun, you know. And it doesn't quite feel like a party. Still conversational. Nice. We're here for it. And that part right there, boom, like an old school. This move right here, it does feel like we were about to go into a Dougie, but it was so muted, I can't really tell you what we were really going for. We just stepped on it, little cross back. It's fine. We call that a V-step too. The reset, boom, boom. Like I think we're doing like an ISO to the shift to the front. We bring it over, and a nice little boom, blah. Set it up. Okay, come on. And then there's more subtlety. So that could be another note too, is that if we're only catching really subtle moments, that we're not really accenting and creating like high extroverted moments and low introverted moments, we need to have this. And it kind of feels like we're plateauing a little bit on one particular posture or texture throughout. Like we've had these conversational moments, they're cool, but this is about the third or fourth conversational moment where it's chill, but I ain't got a lot of full out to give me something to digest while I appreciate the chill. I can't appreciate it as much because you haven't given me other things. I think that's my note there too. Once again, it's fine. That was a cool lighting change. Boom, nice and big. We come up. Point, point. Da-da-da-da. We lift. Da-da-da-da-da. We're down. Still chill. The pull. I like his personality. I think it's fun. And it makes me excited to see what he does with Just Be. What are we about to do? Now it's full, but notice we're about 1:06 in. This is honestly one of the first times we're going like full, if that makes sense. So I think that's my note. I think we needed this about second 15, second 20. Yeah. The rock, a little step touch, and we have a little, little tension in the chest, and then we pick up, a little cross in the back. And we bring it forward. Not really quite a lot of hinge. It kind of feels like we're doing movement, but we're not adding rock and bounce to it. That right there, a butterfly, it needs to have, there's no groove in it, and you have to have a groove in a butterfly. So that's my note there. Groove comes from the torso. Accent. No, hey. He's doing this quite a lot too. It could be an NCTU thing. Here we go. So notice he's very stiff. That's a big note there too. He's pretty stiff in these choices, so it's hard to appreciate the groove. So there's that. Hitting it over. This part here, boom, hit. That needs to be so much bigger. It's pretty muted right here for me to actually translate, see what's going on. It feels like we're just doing like we're pushing out of it, but I don't quite know. The pull over, the little hit, and then we swivel it through, accent up, little body roll to travel it down. We didn't quite complete the inversion of the knees on that. He hits it, boom, boom. It's about the third time we've seen a clock behind him, which is fine. That's life. So unfortunately, I would not put this one as the top out of the 4, but you know what's really cool though is that this is the baseline of our marathon, and no one's doing an inherently bad job. I did not say that at all. I'm just providing feedback that tailors into what I am looking forward to out of observation to seeing them growing, because he's naturally going to get a lot better very quickly. That's what you see in every marathon. I can attest to that. There's not a single human that doesn't grow in these processes, myself included. So I am very much looking forward to seeing and clocking his movement quality and celebrating the growth. Because this right here, this is what we're starting with. We can only go up. I cannot wait to see more. Lastly, right here, we have Lee Gon-woo. His movement quality, I think, is my personal preference, my favorite, because of the legato and choices of his body. It's honestly quite the opposite of our previous guy, which makes me so intrigued on seeing everybody all together. He sets it up. Let's go. And Delaney Glazer. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the right person. All right. I do remember who Delaney is. She's been in the scene for a hot minute. Every time you cross my mind. You know what? Nope, we're going to keep it equal. Because what I could do is look up and see if I can pull all these choreos from the originals. But we're not going to do that. We can still have all of these notes even without seeing them. I know all their movement quality that we've seen enough to be able to make these types of guesses and feedback. Here, very conversational. But notice I've said that about all of them. I like them, and I like the conversations they present. His case, though, we see the heartbeat that I was really wanting to see from the last one. You get right under my skin, so he traces down to establish, hey, I indeed have skin. And then he does a little body roll to finish. He moves over. It goes on mind. The situation once again, we're having a conversation. What are we talking about? He's interpreting what Black Bear is saying. No, or friend. I don't know who it is. But notice what he did in his wave on the do-do-do-do-do. Oh, I even missed it right there. Yeah, he just does a little switch between the feet with the wave to kind of create a nice little direction change. He walks forward. He has a nice little body roll, and the accents there. Boom. Very nice. Very well placed. He hits it over. Boom, da-da-da-da. That feels like a little Harlem Shake setup, but not quite like a full Harlem Shake with a rock bounce kind of vibe. But it feels like we're doing a little moment with the shoulders where we travel it across. And if you've done a Harlem Shake, that could be something that you switch up the texture and you get something like that. And he says, I'm closer. And this right here, da-da-da. So I have a feeling the beginning was more improv or freestyle. This feels like the actual choreo because it's more plays, it's more full, it's very direct versus essence-based. For Delaney, this feels more like that. And then we do a nice little just thread through with the head. We take the arm, I can't sleep, and I like the little extra finger embellishment on that. And then I can't, up. And then body roll out of that is really nice. Look at the commitment even to the back leg. It's little things like that. I love it. And it goes da-na-na, bring it in, very clear. He switches it up to the other side. Little body roll. I get anxiety to reset. He grabs. Look at the fullness. Boom. Nice explosion here. Boom. Click, click. We set it out and hit. Da-da. So it goes bound, down, up, boom, da-da-da. Come on. Come on. And then we go, you can see, I like that. Taking this arm, keeping it front, and then establishing 2 different positions for the other arm. We love it. Turning it through, I like the swim on that, adding the base and adding some fullness in that torso. Looks great too. And he comes back in, boom, doom, doom, doom. He takes the hands front. Let's go. Da, 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 come on. Yep, and then he takes it around, da, da. And then we do a nice little, what happens with that is whenever you press onto the foot, you roll through the ball of the foot down to the heel, reestablish on the other side, so it's about your weight. I've talked about this. I think I talked about it on New Six's set. And just throughout theirs, and what I really liked is about your weight. And your weight establishes sometimes a certain texture you want to get out of it, because certain momentums require certain speed changes with how you shift your weight from one side to the other. And in this case here, you want it on the wah, 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 wah. You want to make sure it shoves effectively, but not 100% over. You want it to have some weightiness on the other side so you can quickly move the weight back over, right? Because you want it to feel more like a water whooshing in a box, not the water's completely gone from the box. It's kind of like that, which I like. It goes cross over. I mean, it's nice to see. It's cool to get a wide shot, but personally, I would want to see them a little bit closer so we could appreciate the subtleties of some of these movements. But that's fine. The little wave on that, I appreciate with the fingers. We're here for it. Da da da. With a little hit them, folks. Not really. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a little hit and focus for it. And pulling it through, bring it in, anxiety. And he brings it around. I like this choice with a little Mary J. Blige out. Whoa, on the top of that. And then switching it up, boom, with a little hit on the shoulder with the accent there, and we switch it to the back, da-dee, da-dee. Then we pick it up with the accent with the chin. We're here for it, the da-dee, da-dee. Throw it once again, over. Now, are we freestyling? Good chance that little section felt that way. Not quite sure. Down, up, and then he says, okay, we're cool. So his movement quality felt more... I didn't feel as like full and accented as what I'm used to seeing Delaney do on those types of sequences, but I like his choices. They felt, they felt placed and they felt intentional, which I really like. Now, of course, all of them had intentional choices, but the difference is depending on the concepts you choose to go with, because remember, if they had skin in the game on their song choices, they are held to the standard in which the songs are to be interpreted, right? It's all up to everyone's subjective opinion. For me, as objective as I try to come across, I have my preferences. I have my desires of the heart, especially depending on the side of the industry we look at. I'm a human, right? Just like he is and just like they all are. So as much as I may appreciate or be constructive towards something or provide guidance or insight on what I can, it doesn't discredit the fact that every single one of them brought a different genre to the table and allowed us to appreciate what Just B is going to be bringing. Just 4 out of the 6 members, it makes me excited. What does a group of 6 do in combining forces under the direction of somebody? What is the choreo going to look like? What's their own discography going to sound like? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Most of the time, ATEEZ is a phenomenal example of this. I appreciated and I liked ATEEZ doing their own discography way more than doing covers. Always. I felt that way immensely. I feel that way about XG. So when I see this, it actually makes me very excited to see Damage, which is their debut. So this is going to be great. But these are really fantastic benchmarks for me. And I would say out of everybody, Kim Song-woo, I'm very excited to see what he ends up doing in the 2024 side of things. Oh, it's going to be awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I am very excited to get into Just B and as well as ATBO. What's actually going to be happening is while I'm looking at Just B's discography, I'm really going to be focusing more on their own work. I know they do a ton of covers, which is awesome. But because I am looking at them and seeing what they're going to bring to the table as a group, as well as the other 7 competing groups of Road to Kingdom Season 2, I want to try to look and see what their movement quality on their own discography has to offer in that sense. And I think that's going to be the best way for me to gather that for an analytical perspective going into the show. If you want to see more of Just B, I'm going to have it on YouTube. I'm always going to have more of it on Patreon. I am definitely looking forward to the discussions on this. What do you see revisiting this material? Because I know it is older for others, new to me, first time looking at it. I'm looking forward to that. Once again, my name is Jess, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.